When you talk about like the thing that kind of makes people leave here happy and want to bleed green, it's one of those things where we probably don't know why it is either. I think we sort of, go along with what people kind of say, like the Dartmouth experience and the family atmosphere, and all of that stuff is there. But I think there's something else, and I don't think anyone knows what it is, and you won't know what it is or even feel it unless you've been in it. This is where I'm from, and this is me. Dartmouth is who I am.
During my freshman year, I wasn't playing a lot, which was obviously frustrating. School was kicking my butt, and it was snowing every day.
When you become a part of a sport at Dartmouth, you're becoming part of something a whole lot bigger than you ever could have imagined before that. It's not just your team in 2000 whatever, it's the legacy of a program and a school that is just so rooted in tradition.
There's something more about playing at Dartmouth, about playing sports, I think, at Dartmouth that's different than at other places. And I think some of that is just the college and what this place is about. Maybe it's that small feel. It's very focused on kind of being here and cherishing your time here.
The majority of my friends at this school were football players, baseball players, tennis players, like people that were athletes and kind of had that extra love for the school because they felt the camaraderie that comes along with the alumni support and the history of the program that you're playing under and the coaches and just kind of the whole family that the Dartmouth experience brings to you.
There is a sense of camaraderie in that we all had green on, and some wore basketball tank tops and others wore baseball pants, and it's all right, it doesn't matter.
I ended up going from my Dartmouth interview down to Midland, Texas, which was about 100 miles from Snyder. And the guy who was going to interview me was a fellow by the name of Ed Lead. And Ed Lead's class of 49 was a basketball player, I believe captain of the basketball team. He ended up playing for the Boston Celtics, went to Harvard Business School. And when I walked out of that interview, I said, I want to be that guy.
Sunday's game is going to be about getting 11 guys out there who are ready to play for each other for 90 minutes. The only people that know what you're capable of are standing around together right now. It's the only people that count. And those are the guys that have to stick together and be positive. Right? Let's have the captains get the group together, lead the cool down, get the gear. Go to the net. Push down. Nice job. There we go.
I immediately stepped into a family. I stepped into a team who was very welcoming, who had a wonderful cast of characters, and it just became, for me, a whole support system that I pretty much followed through my whole 4 years.
When you go back into the locker room and see the friends that you've made and see the 14 seniors that stuck through 4 very hard years, then it's all worth it, because they all stuck with it for you and you stuck with it for them.
You can't always win, and you can't always be at the top of your game, but working towards making this team better has taught me so many things as a sport and just about being a member of this Dartmouth community.
You win a game or you win a track meet or whatever it is, you know, the sense of accomplishment is it's great. But you get that from training. If you've had a good training session, you feel good. You think you're doing well. Have a bad one, you'll kick yourself. You're like, come on, you can do better than that.
It was probably the highest level of conditioning I've ever been in, the most intensely focused, and at the same time the most enjoyable, because you are essentially working or suffering, depending on how you want to look at it, along with all your teammates, to be on long runs or doing stadiums or running Velvet Rocks or whatever it was. It was a really incredible experience, and I'll never forget it.
We're in this together, whether things are going great for us or average or somewhere in between. That's when you really develop that sense of camaraderie, to know that you're part of this group and there'll be people there for you on the best of days and on the worst of days.
When you're on a team, it's all about constantly getting energy from each other. And, it only takes a look into one of my teammates' eyes, and then I'm fired up and I'm ready to go.
Like, we won't even say a word, we'll just look at each other and you'll feel an adrenaline rush just by looking at him, and then that's when you kind of know, we would think about the same thing at the same time. And that's what the chemistry is.
There were players on the team that I can still remember, that maybe played 2 innings their entire career, over a 4-year career, and yet they were there every single morning. They'd be there at 5:55, and if you were there at 5:56, they had a legitimate gripe against you.
In one sense, the academics here are tough and you have to balance it well, but when you get out on the field, you can kind of forget all about that and just concentrate on you playing your game, and it's a great outlet to have, and to have sort of 2 hours a day where we can just go and enjoy our friends' company and do something we love doing. So.
Knowing there's 10 people out there who know you better than anyone else and who've been there for you and will fight for you and with you, but mostly for you. When I think of Dartmouth, I think of my teammates. The teammates are the ones that I share Dartmouth with and that made Dartmouth for me. So I feel lucky that I've had the best teammates you can have.
Make sure you can rely on each other tonight. 60-minute effort.
There's something about the spirit of this place that allows you to achieve excellence and to expect excellence in athletics, not only from yourself but from your teammates. That's all in this tremendous sense of camaraderie and sense of mission and purpose that is upbeat and supportive.
Can't help but be overwhelmed when you come up here and like last night, Dartmouth night, I had the benefit of sitting up on the stage there, looking out right beside the Glee Club and hearing the band and watching the people and the bonfire and just that whole sort of sense of Dartmouth. And it was, it certainly evokes a lot of great memories. And when you're a freshman coming to the first bonfire, and all those things are wonderful, warm memories.
Clark, the fullback with a gaping hole. He's into the secondary. He tries to cut it outside and does. David Clark with the captain Peter.
Your freshman year, when you go to the first football game and everyone comes, I think it's so cool. You're just like, what is the big deal? And then you start to realize that, like, it's a place that greats have come before you, and greats are here now, and greats are going to come after you. So it's not about you. And so it's a place that you're surrounded by energy and passion and talent.
I was very fortunate to be able to come to a place where I got a great education, surrounded myself with terrific people that made me a better person and have continued to challenge me and make me a better person. I went on professionally and have done a number of things in the sports world, but also in the business world now, that I fall back on my Dartmouth education and the confidence it gave me to be able to go out and compete in the business world every day.
I think it's pretty typical to athletes here that they don't lose sight of what they're after. They're really interested in the education, but they really want to be excellent in the sport that they choose.
People feel like they want to excel here. They want to be the best. I am as competitive as they get. I love winning, and I love being a part of a group that wants to win too. The athletes at Dartmouth do share in something a little bit special in that they've had to balance this life, this intense academic schedule, and also giving a lot of their time to a sport.
And there are times, where you say, I can't possibly do it. I can't. I need to sleep so I can play well, but I can't sleep because I have a test or I have a paper. So to be both a student and an athlete here, you just have to give up on sleep. It just isn't going to happen.
Because I think it is about being the best they can be, and all the standards have been, there's a higher bar in everything.
Every time I put on my cleats, it's just like the best feeling in the world, and to be able to walk out with that Dartmouth jersey on with your Dartmouth team is just something, it's just out of this world, is the feeling that you feel just going out and playing for a school like this on now a new field that is just like so inviting and so has such a powerful effect.
We've made some incredible strides in facilities, and even in the past 4 years. And to have Jim Wright's support and the trustees' support to be able to go ahead in some of these projects is providing the next level of support that these particular teams need to go to that next level of performance.
It adds a whole new dimension to our careers as players.
I think almost every home game this year we had an alumni class back, and on Fridays after our Friday walkthrough, the alumni would come back in the locker room with us. And I think there's a weird sense for them of this is very different to my Dartmouth football experience, and you have this beautiful locker room, and wow, how lucky you guys are. But there's also a feeling of continuation that, I think they very much see us as continuing, the tradition they left, and that we're a part of that now. And that although we have these new facilities and all that, the real important things haven't changed.
In watching the games and not being a player anymore, it definitely at first brought out a feeling like it would be great if I was still like coming out and warming up and stretching and But after a while, that feeling passes because you realize that you've had a good 4 years and that you've gotten everything you could have possibly gotten out of those 4 years.
I'm trying to let the guys know that there's much more to it, that they represent something that's much bigger than they are, that they wear a jersey, wear a uniform that a lot of people have worn in the past and a lot of people will wear in the future. That what they're going to miss about Dartmouth when they graduate, what they're going to miss about not playing hockey anymore when they're done, is the relationships that they have.
You know, ending my career with a gold medal, it was the best way that I could have ended it. And I think it's the same way that I look back on my Dartmouth experience. It was such a fulfilling experience. It was such an amazing time, and I wasn't leaving with any regrets.
It may be in the future I might have to start running marathons or triathlons or something to satisfy my competitive drive. Yeah, but the truth is, and the sad thing is, that it'll never be like this again.
You see the place through other people's eyes. Like, this is your place now. And it was my place. And it will be someone else's someday, too. You know, and I think that's the part. I think I'll be really happy to stand there in the Wearers of the Green and be there because we've all had this place at some point in our life.
The bond between two Dartmouth people is really special because even if it's separated by 10 or 20 years, they know that they have a common experience, a common theme, and it's neat to really just get together and sit down and chat about all of that and to learn through each other.
It's just such a special opportunity to be able to be a college athlete, a student athlete, for not only what you get and what you give, but just the whole experience.
While you're at Dartmouth, it seems like a long period of time, and that you want to graduate, you want to get through it, you want to achieve, and then once you get out, you look back at it and you say, why was I in a hurry to leave that place? Nothing could have been better. Those are the best moments in my life.
I think a lot about, running out, putting the uniform on for the first time. I remember that day, or cutting down the nets your senior year, or getting off a bus trip at 3:30 a.m. and walking back to your dorm in the cold. I mean, you remember those things, and some of them are battle stories and some of them are success stories, and it's just a really neat opportunity, and it's I think that's what I'm probably one of the things I'm most grateful for, is that somehow in this body I was given the opportunity to be a college athlete, and doing it at Dartmouth was icing on the cake.